Have you ever felt the cold grip of innocence stolen, like a child's laughter silenced by the shadows of betrayal, echoing the grim tales of Victorian workhouses where young souls were traded for scraps, much as in Dickens' Oliver Twist where vulnerability becomes currency in a merciless world? In episode 13 of Gachiakuta, released on October 5, 2025, we spiral into the fractured psyche of a tormented figure, nestled within the cleaner's fraught odyssey through no man's land, where illusions give way to harrowing truths that mirror our own battles with trauma and redemption. Imagine the stale, metallic scent of confinement clinging to your skin, the dim flicker of false promises casting elongated shadows on cracked walls, drawing you into a room heavy with unspoken horrors. This chapter, bridging the manipulative haze of prior encounters to a raw unveiling, personally struck me with its unflinching gaze into the abyss of human cruelty, teasing depths that question. Can shattered fragments of self ever reform into something whole? The intrigue coils like smoke from a hidden fire, urging you closer. What twisted angels lurk in the memories, and why do they feel like echoes of your own buried pains? Step in, for the answers demand not just sight but surrender. Episode 13 delves into a poignant flashback, unraveling the origins of an enigmatic guardian's descent into the tower, building on the previous episode's tense standoff where deceptions unraveled and loyalties strained amid the sands. Reminiscent of the fraught revelations in Lawrence of Arabia, where mirages conceal brutal realities, and allies confront the ghosts of their pasts. You can almost feel the weight of silence in a dimly lit chamber as the cleaners listen, her tale weaving threads of childhood innocence shattered by familial betrayal and encounters with so-called angels, culminating in moments that fracture illusions and propel the group toward uneasy alliances. Key events pivot on confessions of loss and awakening powers, much like the pivotal unmaskings in historical inquisitions where truth emerges from torment, leaving scars that bind or break. What divine visitors descend to alter fates, and why does their touch taste of both salvation and damnation? The transition surges with emotional undercurrents, dangling mysteries that ignite an insatiable hunger. Witness it, or forever chase the shadows of what might have been revealed. Episode 13 shifts gears into introspective territory, advancing the narrative by humanizing a key antagonist through her origin story, which reframes the cleaner's mission from mere survival to a confrontation with systemic evils linking the sphere and abyss, echoing the structural revelations in the Matrix, where personal histories expose the machinery of oppression. The pacing is measured and deliberate, balancing extended flashbacks with present-day reactions to maintain dramatic equilibrium, building to a subtle cliffhanger where empathy clashes with impending conflict. Key revelations center on the mechanics of her arrival in the tower and the role of angels, while a quiet twist in her awakening underscores the cost of power. Fans frequently query cloudy aspects like the ambiguous identity of these angels and how her trauma ties into her abilities, often debating if they represent literal spherites or metaphorical abusers. Drawing from the manga's chapters 39 to 41, as confirmed in adaptation discussions on platforms like Reddit and Instagram, these clarify, the angel is Tamsi Keynes, a figure from the sphere who embodies the groomer in her backstory, descending like a false savior, much like Icarus' deceptive flight in myth, promising elevation but delivering ruin. Chapter 39 details her sale by her mother to this man. Chapter 40 explores the psychological abyss of grooming and dissociation, and Chapter 41 introduces the alighting fragments as her powers manifest from shattered memories, enriching the anime by contextualizing her scent manipulation as a defense born of suppressed pain. This research illuminates the episode's intentional vagueness as a narrative device, fostering viewer empathy and mirroring real historical ambiguities in survivor testimonies from eras of exploitation, providing a layered foundation that elevates the animated adaptation beyond surface drama. Amo's emotional core is laid bare, her hidden wounds, a tapestry of abandonment, grooming, and lost innocence, revealing motivations steeped in a desperate quest for love amid despair, a growth that transforms her from enigmatic foe to tragic mirror, consistent yet surprising in its vulnerability, akin to Medea's vengeful evolution in Euripides' tragedy. Ruto's reactions showcase his own maturation, his choices shifting from impulsive rage to tentative understanding, while the cleaner's dialogues hint at collective healing. Were these arcs transformative? Profoundly so, forging bonds through shared scars. Picture yourself in Amo's hollow stare. What forgotten betrayal might awaken your own dormant fury? Powers corrupting veneer, morality's erosion under societal neglect, and the fragile line between sacrifice and survival manifest vividly, as in Amo's struggles where affection twists into chains, questioning if hope can bloom from despair's soil, evoking the philosophical quandaries in Camus' The Plague, where human depravity tests resilience. Her tale probes, does trauma forge unbreakable strength or eternal voids? These resonate through her angelic encounters, paralleling historical child exploitation in industrial revolutions, leaving you to reflect, in your own discarded moments, what false saviors have promised light only to deepen shadows. New lore on angels, as intermediaries between realms, enriches the universe, complicating cultural rules by revealing trafficking pathways from sphere to abyss, adding insidious layers like the underworld hierarchies in Dante's Inferno, heightening the stakes of interworld travel. How do these revelations unravel the cleaner's quest? The script wields poetic precision, lines like confessions of eternal love carrying foreshadowing heft that echoes post-credits, reminiscent of the weighted soliloquies in Hamlet where words veil madness. Impactful without cliché, they blend raw anguish with subtle philosophy. Amo's fragmented recollections linger like half-remembered dreams in Proust's works, provoking resonance. Did they haunt you? Immensely, weaving suspense that beckons. What unspoken horrors lie in the pauses, drawing you inexorably into the narrative's embrace. Animation employs stark contrasts, fluidity in memory sequences dissolving into ethereal blurs symbolizing dissociation, with desaturated palettes and piercing lights evoking emptiness. Not mere visuals, but a canvas where beauty signifies fractured purity, like the somber tones in Goya's black paintings capturing inner torment. Stillness dominates introspective beats, contrasting subtle movements that amplify isolation. Direction utilizes intimate close-ups and fragmented compositions, tilted angles mirroring mental disarray, editing rhythms ebbing like faltering breaths in Bergman's psychological dramas, to heighten emotional vertigo. The soundtrack emerges as a spectral entity, haunting motifs with dissonant whispers elevating confessions, crescendos etching trauma into memory akin to Herman's scores in Psycho. Silence, profound in revelations, roars louder than any scream. Voice acting captivates. Amo's Siu infuses a childlike tremor with underlying intensity, embodying a soul splintered yet defiant, as if her timbre vibrates through your own unresolved echoes. This episode etched scars of revulsion and empathy into me, sparking wonder at the human capacity for endurance amid atrocity, much like the harrowing survivor accounts from Holocaust memoirs, where horror births unbreakable spirit. Pivotal moments erupt as colliding destinies, a shattering nexus redefining victimhood and villainy, evoking visceral shudders. What eternal queries echo? Can we reclaim love from betrayal's ruins, or does despair forever taint hope? Envision inhaling the stale air of her confinement, your heart fracturing with hers. Does it paralyze or propel? The philosophical undercurrents stir, curiosity swelling like a tide, compelling you to confront the voids within. Reverse reading acknowledges the episode's deliberate sluggishness in flashbacks, potentially overwhelming with opacity, yet reframes it as a stylistic immersion into dissociation, akin to Mulholland Drive's dreamlike ambiguity fostering introspection. Complexity in themes risks alienating, but serves narrative intent, mirroring trauma's nonlinearity. Balanced critique. While some expositions feel protracted, diminishing momentum, the sensitive handling and emotional potency triumph, minor flaws enhancing the raw authenticity. Episode 13 masterfully harnesses traumatic depth and thematic gravity, its strengths in character empathy and visual poetry surpassing occasional pacing lulls. It succeeds resoundingly in Gachiakuta's artistic and narrative aspirations. I anticipate its shadows reshaping alliances ahead. But what if the empty gaze staring back is your own, whispering of angels yet to fall? Taste the bitter residue of unspoken truths on your tongue. Hear the faint cry of innocence lost. Watching isn't mere choice. It's the inevitable descent into the fragments that await your mending. Yield,